this video, I'm going to show you how I do my eyebrows. I do them two different ways using all of the same brand name products by Anastasia. So this is what they look like, and I'm going to show you how to get this look. For that first eyebrow, I'm going to use the Brow Dip by Anastasia, and this is in soft brown. I'm going to take an angled brush. This one's a little bit bigger. You might want to start with a smaller brush. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly dip this into the product. I'm going to go kind of on both sides, not getting too much on the edges. And then I'm going to take the back of my hand and take both sides and just lightly wipe off whatever is on the side. Otherwise, you might get a little bit of a mess going when you start to apply. And where I'm going to start is where the eyebrow is more thick and more hair. This way, the most of the product that is on the brush when you first start applying is in that area where it's already dark, and then you can slowly work that product around into the areas that are more light or that have less hair. And I basically start on the underside of my eyebrow towards the front more and start a little bit of an outline, and then working my way into the middle and also outlining the top. And then I slowly work my way back towards the arch, outlining both of those sides and then filling in, and then moving my way towards the tail of the brow. And when I have the less amount of product on my brush is when I'll go towards the front where I have the least amount of hair and just do light strokes to kind of fill those in and make it look like it's more of a fuller brow. Next, I'm going to use what's called a spoolie, and this is basically a comb. And you're going to take that all the way through your eyebrow, and what this does is spread around the product a little bit more. It also puts the hairs back into place, and then if you have any areas where you went a little bit too dark or if you have any harsh lines, you can also use this to kind of rub that away and make it look a little more smooth. Next, I'm going in with the brow powder, and this is in the shade dark brown. It has a darker and a lighter color both mixed in there, and I'm going to use another angled brush. This one's a little bit smaller. And what I do is I take my angled brush right down the middle, getting both of those colors on the brush. And then I'm basically going to start and do exactly what I did the first time. And I'm going to go where the brow is more heavy and more thick. I outline the brow and then fill it in and then pull everything back to the tail and then going back to the front. And I really use this powder just to shape the front a little bit better, just because it doesn't go on as dark. And this will help me either box it off or make it look a little more natural, and then I really just spread everything around until there's nothing left. And then after using any brow product, you go back with the spoolie again and just take this over the entire eyebrow, putting all the hairs back into place and removing any of those harsh lines. And right here you can see I have a spot in the front of my eyebrow that I need to get rid of, so I'm just taking the very tip of that spoolie and just rubbing over it a little bit and then pulling it back into the beginning part of my eyebrow. For my other eyebrow, I'm going to do more of a higher, more sharp looking arch, and I'm also going to use a little bit of a different process. So I'm going to start with the spoolie, combing the hairs all into place, and then I'm going to go in with Anastasia's Brow Wiz. This is basically just a brow pencil that you can twist up, and what I also like about these is on the other end actually comes with a spoolie. The shade I'm using in the Brow Wiz is soft brown, and with this one I still start where the hair is more thick, but instead of putting it right into the middle, I will outline the eyebrow only because this goes on a lot lighter than what the Brow Dip does. This way, if I accidentally draw a line out of place, it'll be a little bit more easier for me to fix just because of the fact that it goes on lighter. But I still do the same thing, outlining and then filling in and then moving from my arch area down to the tail end of the brow. And at this point, I'm a little more comfortable with how I'm applying this, so I go back to the front area and do light strokes in there and fix the outline of that area. Then, of course, I go back to the spoolie and comb everything back into place from me moving everything around, and then back to the powder using the same steps I did before, taking it right down the middle of the powder and then putting it starting where the hairs are more thick and just outlining it and filling in exactly the way that I did with the first eyebrow. And because this is going to be the last product sitting on top that's actually giving me any color, I do take my time and really blend everything out. That is what it looks like, and then of course to finish that off you go back with the spoolie, spreading everything around and making sure everything is exactly where you want it. Then I'm going to go in with Anastasia's Clear Brow Gel. This is going to go over the top of both eyebrows. It just looks like a mascara wand, and how I apply this is before I even put this to my eyebrow, I wipe off quite a bit of the gel in the container, and then I lightly spread it through my entire eyebrow. And what this does is it keeps all the hairs in place, and it also gives it more of a realistic look because you have all that product or powder sitting on there. When you take this through, it makes the hairs look a little more wet instead of like you just completely drew everything on. This is what both eyebrows look like finished, one of them being more thick and a little bit more on the natural curvy side, and the other being with more of a higher arch and a little bit thinner in the front compared to the other. Please let me know which one you like better in the comments below. Also, if there's ever anything you want me to try out or make a video with, please let me know so I can put that in a future video. Also, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I hope you liked it.